The spending cuts, where are we at with the DOGE recommendations? And I know those negotiations are ongoing. What is the latest update there?
So Elon's done a great job giving information to our secretaries of ways they can reduce staffing, reduce wasteful spending. Now what we've got to do is we've got to, one, do a rescission package. What the White House can do, they can send us a rescission package. It only takes 218 members of the House, 51 members in the Senate, and we can get rid of that spending. I know the White House is looking at that. I spoke with OMB last week about it. So I know they're looking at that. And then as we do our budget for 2026, which will be part of this reconciliation, we can dramatically reduce that spending and take those DOGE cuts and put them in our reconciliation bill.
The fiscal calamity that we are experiencing is immense. And the lack of Washington, D.C.'s appetite to cut spending and get down to baseline budgeting is horrifying. My hope is that we'll be able to... Please talk about the stakes here.
So, Charlie, think about it. What was the election about? The election was about secure the border, make us safe, get inflation under control. Inflation will not come down. Interest rates will not come down if we don't balance the budget. They're not going to. Right? It's all caused. It's a monetary. It's caused because of wasteful spending. We're spending $2 trillion more than we take in. We've had a 2% increase in our population, a 53% increase in spending in 5 years. So what we've got to do is we've got to do what you do. I mean, Charlie, you do it. Everybody does it. You get your credit card, you look at all the lines and say, well, was that one right? Oh, I'm not going to do that one again. We're not going to spend money like that. That's what you do. We've got to do the same thing at the federal level. We did it in my business life constantly. When I was governor, I went through all 4,000 lines of the budget. Ron Johnson just had an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal saying, let's get the House, the Senate, the White House together, and let's go line by line through the budget. I did that as governor. That's how we balanced the budget. We reduced spending, and we reduced wasteful spending because we had a purpose for every line. That's what you should expect out of your tax dollars. There should be a purpose, not $600,000 to study the menstrual cycle of transgender men, or $800,000 to do gardening and new chicken gardening in El Salvador. I mean, this stuff is crazy. This is all doable. We can balance this budget, and that's what, if we're going to get inflation under control, get interest rates down so you can afford that house or afford that car, it's going to be because we balance the budget.
And if it doesn't happen, it's simply because of certain Senate and House colleagues of yours that do not have the will to cut spending and do not want to face the music. Senator, we will not have a country anymore if we do not dramatically cut spending.
Absolutely. Charlie, it's simple. What the way to do it is right now they're anticipating that we're going to collect about $5.5 trillion. What do you do with your personal life? Okay, you say, I'm not spending more than that. So what we should do is say our spending level will be the same as our revenues or less, right? When I was governor, it was less, and I paid off a third of the state debt. So we should say, okay, there's a lot of nice to haves, but we don't have the revenues for that. The taxpayers are not willing to give us the money to do those things. So the way to do it is to say, I'm not going to cut anything. I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to spend money on. All right, these are my highest priorities, but nothing else. This is the only amount of money I have to spend. It's just like what every family does with their personal life. We've got to do it with the federal government.
Senator, thank you for your leadership. We'll be watching very closely, and keep on telling your colleagues that we, the base, are demanding spending cuts. Spending cuts.
I agree with you, Charlie.